Don't fall for his flattering tune. He'll promise you the world until you drink that perfume. It's a highway, highway to the door, and a neon Medusa's got your heart. Sweet canyon lullabies, don't look straight into its eyes. It's a highway, highway to the door. There's only two ways to make it in this town. One is to be brilliant, the other is to drown. But don't take both drugs all in one go. You can't reach the heavens passed out on the floor. It's a highway, highway to the door, and a neon Medusa's got your heart. Sweet canyon lullabies, don't look straight into its eyes. It's a highway, highway to the door. If your mama could see you now, if your mama could see you now, topless and upside down, the room spinning around. If your mama could see you now, with the party lines coming out, are you lost or are you found? And there are too many mirrors in this Don't fall in love with the man on stage. I'll be on in a minute, then I'll sweep you away. Don't fall for the monsters in this maze, but I could love you forever if you'd meet my gaze.
Hmm. Okay, the music kept playing for a little bit longer than I thought it would. Anyway, welcome back. We're Pacific driving today. We did crab yesterday. We had crab Monday, as has become somehow the tradition for the past 3 weeks. Hey, welcome in. Muted? Muted. Oh, Mike. Getting one guide by Mike at start of stream. That's a way to start. I was like, muted, but I always double check that my microphone's working ever since that one stream where I went for half an hour but without realizing that my mic wasn't working. Which was my birthday, by the way. It was it wasn't last year, it was the year before, 2022. I was playing Dishonored for like an hour, well, more like half an hour, 45 minutes, until my friend showed up and was like, hey, Ando, happy birthday. You're muted, by the way. And I'm like, but yeah, so we playing the driving game. We'll be doing more driving. Ideally, I think we're getting on the other side of the wall this time, so we'll be progressing. Happy birthday. I have taken your tongue as a gift to the world. So yeah, I have places to be tomorrow morning, and I am not a morning person. All right, so I may have to not finish early tonight, but like most definitely make sure. Why are we doing this to the pain, Mike? Is it the eyes, the lips, the nose? The only thing you leave is the ears, so that you may hear the screams of those who say, "What is that? What is that horrid thing?" That's right. I've seen The Princess Bride. Fantastic film. But anyway, yeah, I may have to kind of call it at like midnight tonight sort of thing and be like, okay, I must go because I need to get my beauty sleep because I have to be places tomorrow morning and I'm not a morning person. So it's kind of one of those preventative maintenance things. Osmond, welcome in. How you doing? We're playing the driving game today. I'm just doing some stream admin and getting bullied by Mike, which is the usual. I see. Mike casually outing himself as Benny. Well done. To be expected. I mean, you may have all the horses, but guess who's on the wrong side of the river? Yeah, pretty normal. Pretty normal and regular. So anyway, we're gonna jump straight into Pacific Drive. It's force of habit, but I always almost call this game Pacific Rim. And equally, I would love a Pacific Rim game. Give me one where I just build Jaegers. We're back. We're back in. Oh, we got a fax. What's in the fax machine? More tourists trying to cross the water from Canada. Got an abandoned boat in the cove again. Tracks leading inland and more blood. Damn tourists. Hang on. I need to. The game has opened itself in an annoying position, so I just need to move it over slightly so I can see chat because it was cutting it off. All right, there we go. Resume. Yeah, I mean it's not. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure about the rim. The rim on this car is, shall we say, somewhat limited. But yeah, speaking of Pacific Rim, first film was good. Second film we do not speak of. What second film? Third. Well, there was no third film, but the Netflix series, questionable. I did pick up some of the comics. I've read some of them, not all of them. They were okay. But the Netflix series started strong and it had some really good parts to it. Like some of the kaiju are really cool. There's one which is like a cross between a moray eel and a salamander, and it has probably one of the most brutal kills I've seen in the series. Because it eats a dude and then all the blood shoots out of the gills, and I was just like, okay, that's kind of cool. But overall, it does this annoying thing that a couple of animated series have done, where it retreaded a lot of ground. It kept doing the same thing over and over again. Okay, everything in the car is set up. I need repair putty, I need other things. Yeah, it did this really annoying thing where they kept retreading the same ground of brother does a thing that the sister cannot forgive him for, and he's like, it's okay, she doesn't need to forgive me, I just need to keep her alive. And then rinse and repeat, does another thing that is unforgivable. Yada yada yada. Hey, Nekohai, welcome in. So the first and the second, I have no idea which is which. Some guys fight a monster in a suit. I'm sure Beastie kills to protect family and loved one interest. Yeah. Kind of close, Mike. So the first one is Pacific Rim. The second one is Uprising or something. It was the one that Guillermo del Toro didn't work on, and thus is garbage. Basically, what and we know why he didn't work on it. Well, that's a shame, Nokohai. But again, if you ever are free to raid, you're always welcome. I love it when people come and say hi. I love me some visitors. Oh, we have a bee now. We have a bee. We can maybe put that on our thing. How do I put the bee in the machine? There we go. In the machine. And what does the bee do? But yeah, and again, if the same applies, if I ever get the chance, I will probably raid other people. That's one thing that always kind of sucks about being mainly a nighttime streamer, is there are so many people I'm like, yeah, I can raid them, and then they're never on when I'm on. I talked about this before, but when Nayo moved to Japan, she was like, yeah, I'm moving to Japan, and I was like, yeah, finally, her time zones will be like my time zones, and that means I can raid her. And then she was like, oh, by the way, I'm keeping my current, like, stream schedule for my American audience. I was like, oh. Oh. Oh, no, that's my kaiju. What's the bee? Oh, it's a little bee. No, I don't want the bee. I have my Godzilla. Although she did mention, she was like, I'm getting bored, so I might do some night streams. And I'm like, yes, please, do it. Do it so I can raid you. I wish to say hello. Alright. Why did my car just bounce? Alright, I think that's everything. I don't need to keep that bulb in there, so let me just move that there and then move that there. Oh, we gaming. We gaming. Blowtorch. What does it do? It is not durable enough to help basic repairs on the road, I see. Oh yeah. Osman? Nekohai Osman. Nekohai made my other model. My 8-bit one. My pixel model. And it's very good. And if you ever need, well, it was Nekohai and Chibiki. Nekohai rigged it. And if you ever need one, you know where to look, because they did a fantastic job and have been very helpful with it. Like, I did my first stream with it, and Nekohai literally just messaged me out of the blue, being like, "Oh, by the way, I noticed some things I could fix on it. Here is the updated rigging file, like, for free, basically." Like, they didn't say, "Oh, by the way, we can fix things if, you know, you pay us more money," or anything. It was like, no, like, we noticed some things we can improve. Here you go. And it was like stuff I hadn't even noticed. I was like, "This is great," and they were like, "Cool, we can make it better." But I'm lucky in the sense that, like, and I say this about work too. I say I've never had a bad team at work. Everyone I've worked through in VTubing has been great. Everyone who's made stuff for the channel has been fantastic. Blade 2, I don't know. The Blade films are one of those films that I have mixed feelings on. Because it is what's his face? Why am I blanking on his name? Wesley Snipes. It's Wesley Snipes at his most Wesley Snipes. Like, you've all heard the stories from the Blade film sets where they were like, he just kept wearing the outfit and wouldn't take it off, and like just kept walking around being like high on cocaine and pretending to be a vampire. Well, yeah, that's the thing, is like it's a bad movie, but it's like you got to work with what you got to work with. Yeah, and again, that's fair, Nagai. Like, again, you ask a price that is fair for the outcome, in my opinion. Like, you know, when you want a quality product, you got to pay for that. But it also helps to have, again, a helpful and facilitating team. That's not what I want with the crafting table, because I want another scrapper. Yeah, so like, well, again, like Wesley Snipes, like having to direct a film with Wesley Snipes, and probably all the other shit that was going on, could not have been easy. It's the same with I'm not a huge fan of what's his face? What's his face? Not Matt Smith. Matt Smith was the Doctor. Half of Jay and Silent Bob. The Silent Bob half of Jay and Silent Bob. I'll remember his name eventually. Yeah, not a huge fan of him. Well, Kevin Smith. Yeah, I'm not a how to put this? I'm not a not fan of him, but I'm not also a rabid fan. But I remember watching a thing where he was talking about Mission Impossible 5. I think that was the one he directed. Not Mission Impossible. Sorry. Die Hard with Bruce Willis, and he was saying that like Bruce Willis was one of the most interesting people he's ever had to direct, in that there were times where he was the biggest pain in the ass on the planet, but also really like that kind of worked. There were some times where he like Bruce Willis would be like, I'm having lunch now, and they'd be like, okay Bruce, but we need to shoot, and he's like, nah, I'm having lunch, like you will hold the shoot until I've had lunch, sort of thing. But by the same token, like there was times where Kevin Smith would be arguing with the production company, the studio, over, you know, what he was doing with the film. They'd be like, no, we want you to do it this way. And Bruce Willis would just be like, give me the phone, and be like, hey, you know, I'm the star of the film. Without me, there is no Die Hard. Do it the director's way, or there is no film. Yeah, no, again, I'm not a huge fan of his, and I agree on the fart huffiness. Like his rendition of He-Man, I haven't watched the second season because the first season I was just like, like it had some good things, like giving us what's her face? Why am I blanking on her name? She's the sorcerer, the evil sorcerer, the one that hangs out with Skeletor. Obviously, my streamer brain is losing all the important knowledge that I have about He-Man. Evelyn, that's it. Evelyn, giving us buff Evelyn was fucking great, but so much of that show was just either in the wrong order, in my opinion, or just unnecessary. Like having a whole plot point in an episode about the Queen being like, oh, by the way, Adam, your death really shook us up. You know, I considered leaving your father and going back to Earth because you died. And it was like, why do we care? Oh yeah. But again, Wesley Snipes is a guy, and also a guy with, I believe, a fondness for certain substances. So I'm not surprised he's like, yeah, I could beat Michael Jai White in a fight. Probably because he just, again, believes if he believes hard enough, he'll win that fight. But yeah, like again, Wesley Snipes, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like he's one of those guys who definitely defined a certain era of acting. And I honestly don't know if he's a good actor so much as he's just balls to the wall. Because there are some actors who aren't necessarily good, but they just commit so hard that they make good stuff anyway. Apparently Shia LaBeouf's like that. Apparently people are like, yeah, he's not actually that great of an actor, but he just goes so hard that, like, the outcome kind of works, so long as you have a director who can, like, manage that. Also, Michael Jai White, absolute Chad. Black Dynamite, absolutely. He was in Black Dynamite, wasn't he? I'm pretty sure he's the lead in Black Dynamite, is he not? Oh, that's right, I need to ping my little thing. Oh yeah, no, again, I know the role you're talking about. It was Bible in Fury. Fury is mostly a good film. It has some little, again, it has some things I would have changed in terms of pacing. Like just putting things in certain positions. Yeah, who the hell has interrupted my kung fu? Yeah, Black Dynamite is great in every capacity. the movie is great, the TV show is great, the comic is also quite good. Oh, fuck off, bunnies. Get away from my car. If you steal my car, I swear to God. If you drive my car down this hill, I swear to God. Come the fuck back here. Die. Cease. Get off my car. Fucking things. Yeah, again, there are things I would have changed about it. So the thing that I liked about Fury is that it's tanks, and because of a variety of reasons, often cost. Armor is one of those things that often gets overlooked, when it comes to, oh, my wiper's not working. Interesting. Yeah, it's one of those things that often gets overlooked in the movies. So I thought it was cool, them being like, hey, we're gonna do a movie about a tank crew. Because I think, and this is, I might be biased because of the fact that I have a history degree and one of my major areas of expertise and research is tanks. Tank crews are an interesting microcosm because it's similar to artillery crews, but not quite the same in that you have a group of people working together in very close quarters, and the survival and well-functioning of that vehicle is entirely dependent on the crew working together. So inherently, it does actually make for decent storytelling, in the sense that you have there's a level of inherent tension and drama, in the fact that people are required to do their jobs right, and if they don't do their jobs right, that's a problem. So the plot point of adding the new crew member, who was the translator or whatever, that was quite good. Fuck off, electricity. The bit that I didn't like, was the bit after the initial. So they conscript him into the team, which is a thing, by the way. That happened. Replacement crew and stuff were just drawn from wherever they could grab them a lot of the time. Sometimes they had armor training, sometimes they didn't. So sometimes it was literally just grab a guy, put him in, and say, hey, you know, this is your job now. And it still happens today. I know people who have actually had to do that. I know some people who are ex-US Army who basically got, during GWAT era, basically got yanked into, hey, by the way, I know you're an infantryman, but you're riding in this tank now. Like, this is your job now. Yeah, the bit at the start where they do the assault through the field, and then they have the captured guy, and, what's his face? Brad Pitt's character shoots him. I can't remember his name. It's like preacher or teacher or something. It's something like that, teacher or something like that. Shoots him. I would have done that scene differently. Let me tell you Ando's story of how Ando would have done it. No, not Berthel or whatever. Brad Pitt. John Barenthal or whatever. I think he's called like Mad Dog or something. He's the loader. He's the loader. But basically, what I would have done is I would have had because the whole point of that scene is the fact that new crew member refused to shoot during that battle. He was not firing his machine gun. So Brad Pitt's like, y'all got to learn how to kill some folks. So how I would have done that scene differently, I would have had him get him out of the tank, go down to the prisoner, give him the revolver, and be like, shoot the dude, and have translated dude refuse, be like, nah, I won't do it. Throw down the revolver, and then while they're arguing, have the German guy dive for it, and then have teacher pull out a pistol and shoot him. And the point of the scene should be, because I felt the point of that scene was a little bit too killing people, gotta learn to kill people. I feel like it would have been better if it was just, it's us or them. Like, if you don't shoot him, he will shoot you. You have to learn this. I think that would have been a more compelling scene. But that's just me. But yeah, this has been Ando's long-winded rant of the fact that he generally finds Fury to be tolerable. But no, the actual reason why Guillermo del Toro wasn't involved with Pacific Rim 2, circling back to what I was saying like 20 minutes ago, was that the production company fucked up. They didn't book the soundstage in time. So the soundstage got booked out that they needed to use, and they were like, it's okay, we can reschedule to this date, and Del Toro was like, that's when I'm filming Shape of Water, and I ain't gonna put off filming Shape of Water, my Fishman rom-com fetish film. He was like, I'm not gonna put off filming Shape of Water for Pacific Rim 2, so he handed it off to someone else and it wasn't as good. And I'm gonna be honest, I thought Shape of Water was mid, so I feel like we kind of lost out on that one. You're me, but for Norse and more specifically Germanic tribe history, yeah. Northmen not committing to Old Norse, Slavs being able to speak a specific variant of Old Norse that they weren't exposed to, no variation Old Norse, the Elder Futhark and not Younger Futhark for engraving on the sword, this close to nearly accurate. Yeah. But I'm also one of those things where, because I am a professionally trained historian, and by that I mean I have a history degree, it varies on what I'm willing to accept, because I recognize that, like, movies and video games and stuff are entertainment, and sometimes entertainment has to come before historical accuracy. But there are also times where I'm like, seriously, like a great example, and there are also some things that I can appreciate for a creation of their time, even if they're not a well-done creation. So a great example is, whatchamacallit, the thing that I'm blanking, Battle of the Bulge. So Battle of the Bulge was made, I think, in the 50s, and actually, maybe 60s, closer to 60s, I think. It's basically retells the infamous Battle of the Bulge, the German offensive into the Bulge and the Allied lines that, you know, almost broke through, and you know, all that sort of stuff. But they didn't have, and this was back in like the 60s, they didn't have any German tanks, right? So for German tanks, they used American M47s painted grey, and then they didn't have any, strange enough, they didn't have any American tanks, at least not period accurate American tanks. So instead of using M4 Shermans, they got M41, no, they were M24 Chaffies, I think, and painted them green, like more green. I'm pretty sure they were M24s. And also, so the Ardennes campaign was in, like, northern France and Belgium in winter. It was fucking snowing, and, like, that was a big deal of the campaign. And yet they filmed it in Spain in, like, summer, so there is no snow to be seen anywhere. And the film was so inaccurate that Eisenhower himself, like, came out of retirement to, like, disavow the film and be like, this is not an accurate hang on. He came out to say this is not an accurate representation of what actually happened. Yeah. Yeah. And again, Vikings has its own problems. I think part of the problem with Vikings, well, Vikings had many problems. I think part of the problem with Vikings was the fact that they knew they were onto a good thing, and so they were like, how can we extend this out? So I think they leaned into the anachronisms, because again, they were like, well, we're on a good thing here, like, we gotta keep this going. Because I was a little bit surprised that the show kept going, because I honestly thought it was I thought it was really carried by what's his face, Travis Healy or whatever, the guy who played Ragnar. Like, even though it was not necessarily accurate, he was quite charismatic at the start of the show, for the first couple of seasons, and I honestly thought the show was going to fall over when he left. Well, left because the character died. Oh yeah, no, I'll agree. I'll agree again. Like, his story wise, it's not good. And again, I knew that the minute they went, like, is it the first or second episode when he goes to see the soothsayer, and the soothsayer was like, looked like he was from a Norwegian black metal band. I was like, that looks very like Nordic, just the wrong era of Nordic. It doesn't look Norse. It looks like, you know, mid 2000s Norwegian black metal. Like, he looks like a one-man black metal project called the Soothsayer. I wish these electrical things would fuck off. Yes, explode. Get off my car, you fuckers. Get off my car, you fuckers. Not scrapping a crafted item. Oh yeah, exactly. And again, like that's what other series does that? There are a couple other series that do that. They condense things again just to make things easier, for lack of a better word. But I think another thing worth recognizing is that with a lot of these shows, they also often don't actually know what they're doing most of the time, and by that I don't mean like they don't know what they're doing. I mean that in the sense of they don't actually know what the end of the show is going to be. They write them a season at a time. Yeah, the Spartacus series, yeah, definitely condensed things a fair bit. And again, the Spartacus series, and this is what I was talking about with the sense of a lot of series, they get written a season at a time and don't really know what they're doing. Spartacus had this in that the actor who played Spartacus unfortunately had leukemia. And so he was there for season 1, and then for season 2, they do a time skip, like they go back in time for that season because that was when he was off getting treated for leukemia, and then unfortunately he passed away. And so for season 3, they kind of had to work out what they were doing. So they got a different actor and everything, but there was some stuff where like certain characters got dropped and certain things got moved around because they were like, oh, yeah, like this actor, because we didn't have them in season 2, is now busy doing something else and shit like that. So a lot of shows, again, do get made up on the fly, and so that's not always great for historically accurate storytelling. The other one that's also very difficult is anything Roman, mainly because of the fact that the Romans, when it comes to history, Roman history was written with a purpose, and that purpose was not historical accuracy. Romans wrote history usually for a patron, and usually it was things like, write me the history of my great-grandfather and make him look good, or like, write me the history of my enemy's great-grandfather and make him look like a prick. Which is why you have so many accounts of Caesar that either are like, Caesar was an absolute Chad with like big muscles and an absolute genius brain, and when he was 13 he was captured by pirates, but through pure wit and logic he was able to convince the pirates to release him, and like surrender themselves to the authorities under the promise of a merciful death, which the pirates did get, or whatever. Shit like that. The fucking Tacitus. Well, yeah, but again, that's also one of those things where sometimes and again, this is a big one with Herodotus. So Herodotus, yeah, the father of history, air quotes. Herodotus, again, Herodotus is arguably the father of history because he very much said, hey, I'm recording things because it's good to record things. But he even says in his Historia, he basically says, here are the things that I will recount to you. I know not the truth of them, merely what they have been told to me. That's the translation, at least, that I have. And it's him saying, look, I'm going to tell you a bunch of stuff that other people have told me. I don't know if any of this is real. This is just what I've been told. So he has this whole story about in Egypt past the Nile, there are these they're winged serpents or whatever that come from a valley, and they're horrible things, but there is a species of great bird or whatever, and the birds prey upon the serpents, and thus the serpents never actually make it past the Nile into Greater Egypt, which is why we never see them outside of Egypt, like you know, he tells them where you kind of go like, and I think he has another one about like giant ants or something. Like he tells some stories where you kind of go like, you know what, Herodotus, this sounds kind of sus. Like I'm, you know, X to doubt here, man. But he's very much being like, hey, I'm gonna tell you this story. I have no idea if it's legit or not. So with that one, with Tacitus saying that one of the German gods was Neptune, he very well could have been like, cool, this is what I heard. Because again, like a lot of Herodotus' stuff, he got told by other people, but he never actually visited there. And there's other issues as well. So Xenophon's a great one. So Xenophon is one of our few sources that we have on the Spartans. Because oh yeah, if you want historical inaccuracy, oh boy, 300. What a film. I enjoy 300 because it's a silly film. Like it's shirtless Gerard Butler yelling and fighting CGI Persians. But again, historically it's terrible, and actually I'll talk about that in a second. I've talked about this before, but I'll talk about it further in a second. The 1,000 armies of the Persian Empire descend upon you. I had a pry bar around here somewhere. At least I thought I had a pry bar. Yeah, clearly I don't. Yeah, I'll take an honest man over Tacitus. Manus is not a Germanic deity. Yeah, okay. But I mean, that's the other thing as well, right? Like, we do that in English, where we anglicize certain countries, particularly if they would have been hard to spell. Like, again, Tacitus probably Latinized a lot of the stuff because he was, well, because he was a Roman, and he was probably like Germanic peasants, like spelling words incorrectly. Spell them the proper Latin way, damn you. But again, like the point I was getting to is that yeah, sometimes historians back in the day, again, weren't very good historians and tended to write of shit that someone told me as opposed to shit that I saw. And the other one is, again, people like Xenophon. So the Spartans we know very little of in truth, because Spartans didn't keep written records. They didn't write shit down. Oh, actually, I'll get these other bulbs. Yeah, Spartans didn't write shit down. So we have Xenophon. So Xenophon did travel to Sparta, and he did write about what he saw there. But there are still some question marks, because Xenophon was Athenian, right? And Athens and Sparta kind of had a thing. They were pretty fierce rivals, and there are questions over whether, you know, the shit that Xenophon saw was legit, or if it was just stuff that he kind of took the wrong impression of. Because, like, if you're an Athenian going to Sparta, and you're like, Spartans are a bunch of, like, unwashed barbarians, if you go there and see them doing strange things, you might be like, you know, there is a reasonable explanation for this, and the reasonable explanation is they are unwashed barbarians, as opposed to actually finding out what the actual explanation is. Yes, well, that's the interesting one. So, well, there's two things. So, that was actually a reference to another history thing, and I actually don't mind that line, sort of, because if memory serves, he's addressing that line to a guy who's from Thebes, and that's a reference to the Sacred Band of Thebes, which is, again, of questionable historicity, but again, according to at least some sources, I don't know if Xenophon wrote about the Sacred Band of Thebes. I think Plato might have, but at least according to some sources, at least the Sacred Band of Thebes was an elite fighting force from Thebes, but they were comprised entirely of men, gay men, in theory at least. Well, that's what the claim is. That it was the Sacred Band of Thebes, and they were all. It was an even-numbered unit, and they were all lovers. It was all pairs of lovers. Again, how true this is, we don't know. Because again, it could have been more like, hey, this sounds like a cool idea. Again, like, we don't know how much of ancient history is actually just fan fiction. That depends. And again, this is part of what I was talking about with Xenophon. So one of the things that Xenophon says, right, is that he says that, oh, Spartan men preferred the company of other men to the extent that Spartan women, when they were married, fuck off, don't steal my car, get off, fuck off, get off my car, fuck off. Yeah, so yeah, Xenophon claims that Spartan women shaved their heads and spent the first year of their marriage meeting their husbands only in darkness, so that, yeah, good choice. Hades 2, apparently Hades 2, the pre-release for it's just come out, and they're like, oh yeah, Hades 2 has more content in it than Hades 1 did, and it's already a pre-release, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. I need a patch kit, I got flat tires, I need a patch kit. I don't have what I need for a patch kit, I don't have enough duct tape for a patch kit. That sucks balls. I'm just gonna have to make do for the minute. I was gonna say, well, actually, that's a good reference, Mike, simply because of the fact that, you know, Homer, the Odyssey. Yeah, well, exactly, Osmond. Play 1 until you have the money to grab 2. Because again, like, this thing I like about games, usually most games aren't going anywhere in a hurry. So yeah, you can get to it when you got the time. It's like Elden Ring, right? Elden Ring's probably been out for 2 years at this point. I haven't bothered with Elden Ring yet. Is this an anomaly? It is. Pacemaker. I haven't bothered with Elden Ring yet, just because I'm like, I don't have the time to lose my life to it. But when I do have the time, then I'll let it take me. I'll go into the woods. But yes, the point I was actually getting to with Xenophon and stuff, was that, yeah, a lot of stuff with Xenophon, we can't tell if it was his false impression of Sparta, or if it was things that the Spartans intentionally did to be like, hey, this Athenian's gonna show up, let's fuck with him, let's, like, you know, because, like, one of the things that Xenophon talks about is he says that the favored food of Spartans is a black broth made from pig's blood, to the extent that as Spartan men get older, they wind up eating nothing but the black broth. Like, the elderly Spartan veterans eat only this stuff, and you kind of go like, was that actually true, or was that just the Spartans being like, lol, we're gonna make this guy think we drink this shit, and be like, hey man, like, try some of this pig's blood. Yeah, it's fucking great. Like, we love this shit. It reminds me of that episode of Star Trek, where Riker has to go and do an exchange on a Klingon ship, and they keep like shit posting with the food. They keep being like, you know, are you enjoying your gah, human? Like, but gah is best enjoyed live. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. And again, like, there are certain things in history that do sound perhaps worse than they are. And sometimes that's due to misinterpretation. And some of it's also just, for lack of a better word, the loss of the knowledge. Because I do enjoy watching explosions. I do enjoy watching Tasting History with Max Miller. It's quite a good YouTube channel. And he was making a Roman dish. I can't remember what it was. I think it was Roman. I can't remember. He was making something. And he... Yeah, I don't know about blood broth. Again, like... this is the thing, it's the same reason why I don't really like my steak rare, in that, like, I feel like it'd just taste like iron to me. But yeah, he was making something, and he was like, oh yeah, the recipe calls for a certain amount of this particular herb, but he's like, yeah, be careful with this stuff, because apparently if you prepare it incorrectly, like, it's a diuretic or something, like it causes you to, like, shit yourself or something, or, like, throw up. And he's like, this would have been a pretty common herb back in the day, and they would have known how to deal with it, but it's much less common nowadays. So he's like, be careful in your preparation, unless you want to, like, shit yourself, sort of thing. What do you mean by rediscover? Oh, Silphum. Yes, no, I think Silphum may have actually been one of the things he was referring to, in the sense that he was like, we don't know what Silphum is, but this is the closest approximate, I think, or something like that. And I did hear something about that, about there's a theory about either they found the plant or they found what they think is the plant or something like that. Fucking... Oh, fuck off. Fuck off, electricity. Oh yeah, there's a lot of that shit. So there's one in, there's one in the Bible, where there's a footnote on it, which is basically like, they refer to a thing as like, they're like, oh yeah, this is a measuring line for like measuring distances. But then there's another thing after that where they're just like, we literally don't know what this translates from in Hebrew. There's the English translation footnote, and it's literally just like, we don't know what this word means. Yes. Yes, Asafoetida is yeah, I think that was the one he was talking about. Well, at least in regards to Sisyphum, where he's like, yeah, this is the alternative. Ancient D's nuts. And again, the other one as well that gets weird is translations of words, particularly words that have no English equivalent, which has two thoughts in my brain. So the first one is, and I've talked about this one before, slavery in ancient Egypt. Because slavery in ancient Egypt is a complex thing for a bunch of reasons. Partially because what they considered to be slavery may not necessarily be what we consider to be slavery, because they did have chattel slavery. There was chattel slavery in the sense that there were some slaves who were considered property, but there were also other slaves that were kind of closer to serfs. It was being like, that's okay, Osmond. Again, I'm glad that you appreciate it, and hopefully you have some insights. Surely there's something you can offer to the conversation, and if not, then I'm glad you're enjoying it. I don't believe anyone is too stupid to engage in something. And I don't believe, how do I put this? I don't believe in stupid questions. I don't believe in stupid questions. I believe in stupid assertions, right? If someone comes straight into a conversation instead of asking questions, instead like, no, you're fucking wrong, here's a stupid statement, I'm like, no, that's stupid. But I think just asking a question of like, even if that question is what's going on, is a valid question. Well, yes. Well, again, I don't know about the Israelite stuff. But it was more the case of the translation of hieroglyphs. They were to a certain extent. The big one was the at least the one I know I've talked about on stream, is that one of the Egyptian words for slave is mun, M-E-H-N. I think it's M-E-H-N or it's M-H-E-N. And it translates accurately to body, right? And that's where it causes some problems, because you might have a piece of record that says something like, whoop, let me just reverse against this electrical man, I don't like it. Yeah, you might have a piece of record that says something like, you know, the pharaoh came to a place and with him was an entourage of 40 men, and it's unclear whether that means and with him was an entourage of 40 slaves, or just an entourage of 40 people, or 40 like servants, or 40 attendants. You know, there's no clear implication as to if it means just 40, you know, other people, or if it has specific connotations of slavery. The other one that makes it difficult with Egyptian stuff is that, unlike Rome, so Rome had a legal system, and the legal system was administered by the legal courts. It was an extension of the political system. In Egypt, the legal system was administered by the temples. It was a religious thing. So there was a whole thing of, like, in Egypt there were what were known as slaves, but they were actually basically indentured servants. They were people paying off a debt. And they had rights, right? You know, they could choose to do a thing or to not do a thing to a certain extent. They had to, like, you know, obey their lack of a better word, owner, the person who owned their debt. But for instance, they were allowed to own property, they were allowed to marry, they were allowed to do a whole bunch of things. They had the legal right to do. They were allowed to take sick days, and if their master, I guess, was violating their rights, they could go to the temple and be like, hey, my master is violating my rights, I wish to sue him for recompense or whatever. And that was legal, but it was legal under temple law. It was the priests would adjudicate if it was a valid claim or not. So it's where it gets a bit weird, because it's like, it's not law as we understand it as secular law. Anyway, this has been Ando's ramble about history, things that he finds interesting. Oh yeah, there was another point that I had for this, but I've forgotten where I was going with it. Where was I going with it? Mun one. I had two, because I had a modern thing that I was thinking of as well. But my brain just dropped it. Let me think. I had two thoughts on this one. Let me eat some delicious canned food, or not. Eat the MRE. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. There's, like, again, and this is the other one as well where it gets a bit difficult, is it's like, okay, so women were considered property, but what does that mean? Because we have a very modern understanding of what that means, whereas that may not necessarily align with the historical understanding of that word. Oh yeah, the whole shield maiden thing. I don't know. I've heard. I don't know about the shield maiden thing. Like, because this is where it gets a bit weird, and this is another one I'll talk about. So, historically, in depending on the culture, the amount of women in combat varies. Well, again, lack of written record. Women in fighting positions varies. So I wouldn't entirely say no to the idea of shield maidens, although maybe not the terminology of shield maiden, simply because certain very militarized cultures, so like Japan's a great example, often did have women at least having some capacity for conflict, as part of a cultural thing, particularly in, again, societies like Norse, where you had the high cultural relevance of Viking, of raiding, the idea of the men go away, and therefore it's like, okay, well, who's going to defend the homestead? Well, it's got to be the women. So that was very much a thing in Japan, depending on the era. Oh, fuck off. There's 3 of these fuckers. Fuck off. Yeet. Oh, watch me go. Watch me fucking go. Hate these guys. Let go of my car. I don't have the countermeasures to deal with these guys at the moment. I don't have the things installed. But yeah, in Japan, it varied depending on the exact period. But samurai women, again, women of the Bushi class, tended to learn. I'm gonna get launched again. Yeet. Oh, there go my headlights. Shit. Ow, and now I'm getting irradiated. That's great. Yeah, exactly. And that's the other thing as well, is it's like, what does a woman being in combat mean? Like, there's a difference between a woman warrior and a woman who knows how to fight. Because again, samurai women, particularly in the Kamakura period, learned martial arts, and they learned martial arts on 2 basic assumptions. One was, you will need to defend the homestead. Oh, fuck off. Yeah, 2 basic assumptions. One was, you will need to defend the homestead. The other was essentially, you may need to kill yourself if the castle or the farm or whatever gets taken. So there's kind of 2 parts to that. Let me. Shit. This is real bad. So yeah, Japanese women in a certain time period, there was an expectation that they would know some form of martial art. We... Shorted, fixed by electrician's kit, very good. And there were also, at certain periods, like, there were a couple of documented, Japanese female samurai. Light replacement kit. Yeah, so there were a couple of documented, like, Japanese female samurai who had field command and stuff. They weren't hugely prevalent, but there were a couple. And the other one as well is that there were also a couple of empresses in Japanese history. Most conventional Japanese historians will tell you that there weren't. And I don't want this to be like a whole they ain't telling you the truth thing, but the state mandated historical narrative for a long time in Japan was that the imperial line was descended from the goddess Amaterasu via the male line. Yeah, that's not quite what I was going for, Mike, but close. No, for a long time the official like line of policy from, I wouldn't say necessarily the Japanese government, but like the Japanese state, like the Japanese imperial authority, was the Japanese imperial family is a divine. What the? Oh fuck! Did something drain all of my batteries? Something did. I am so boned. I'm fucked because those goddamn UFO motherfuckers threw me down a fucking hole. But yeah, for a long time, the official policy of the Japanese imperial state was only males in the imperial Japanese line, and thus they kind of wrote out from history a bunch of the empresses that had ruled over Japan at various points in time. Why I no go? I'm sliding around, but I'm not. I have like not even no traction. Like I have no go. Is it oh, cause oh, is it, have I lost a wheel? Need a patch kit. I don't have the parts for a patch kit. Oh, I do have the parts for a patch kit. Fuck yes. Okay. Yes. Where's the other one? Back. Right, yeah, there we go. Oh, loose. Fix with mechanics kit. Do I have a mechanics kit? I thought I had a mechanics kit in here somewhere. Yes, apologies. My rant has gotten severely derailed by these motherfuckers. These UFOs keep fucking with me. Ding ding. Oh, I have gas, I think. What's up? Why is my car not moving? Okay, we have power now. That's why I'm not moving, because I don't have power. Alright, up the hill we go. The wagon is getting beat to shit. Actually, change of plan. Change of plan, ladies and gents. I didn't want to come this far into the woods. Oh, there's a fucking... Oh. Turn my headlights off to save power. What do we got? Crew door. Give me all that good shit. Ah, electric man. Oh boy. I think we're gonna make it. I think we're gonna make it, maybe. Also, thank you for the lurk, Mike. We once again stand our lurkers here. Alright, can we beeline it? I'm hoping we can. Doot, doot, doot. Singing me the song of its people. Oh, my car is getting beat to shit. Come on, put her in low range. Put her in low range. Come on, girl. Come on. You can do it. We got the off-road tires. You can do it. I believe. I believe. Any believers in chat? Fuck, we're running out of battery. Vehicle protection is compromised. I think we're getting there. I think we're getting there. Come on. Come on. No. Come on, counter steer, counter steer. I think I'm just gonna die. I think we fucked it. I think we've just been thrown into a hole and we're gonna die. Yeah, I'm fucked. Hey, there's no getting out of this one, I think, which sucks balls. Oh, oh. Let me just run out the radiation and die. I'll drive out into it if I could get unstuck. Not a great start to the evening. Oh, yeah, that's right. I can't actually steer because well, I can sort of steer, but I don't have battery power, so I have no engine power. Yeah. I did not want to wreck my car that much. I kind of just want to drive into the radiation, thank you. This is going to need some fixing. Alright, where's the radiation? Come on, finish me off. Yeah, there we go. Come on. Irradiate me more. Do it, coward. Can't see shit. I don't have nothing. God! Witness me! Yeah, there we go. Yeah, again, I think that would have been escapable if I hadn't been thrown down a hole in pitch blackness. Yeah.
No matter how poorly you treat that car, it brings you back over and over again. Fascinating.
We need to like build a jumper kit to get it in the garage. Dumpster, will you gift me one? No, you'll give me a fucking door. I don't need a door. Oh, it gave me an engine. Wait, is my engine fucked? Oh, it is. My engine's gone. That explains a lot. Yeah, not only was my engine fucked, it was gone. Jesus. Yeah, no wonder I couldn't drive this thing in. What happened to my engine? Alright, let's get you inside. Thank you, Mr. Dumpster, for giving me an engine. Jesus. I'm wondering, is there another spare? Oh, I lost my. Okay, that's what the rear door is going to be. I don't want a crude door. I want a steel door. What am I missing? Steel panel. Let's give that some schmooze. The old girl ain't looking so good. What's in the repair cupboard? I got a bunch. Oh, it's all my insulated shit. Thought you mentioned Jeffers. I think we're going to spend a considerable amount of time repairing things. I think I lost a bunch of shit too. Maybe, yeah. I think I lost a bunch of shit. Oh well. Outfitting station. Where's parts locker? Parts lockers. Ah, I need unstable energy. God damn it. Repair putty electrician's kit. I'm just gonna need to like build a fuck ton of putty, I think. Ah, I'm missing a door. Missing a door altogether, I see. The old girl ain't in great condition. Alright, let's give me some... I kind of... it's funny, my optimization brain is like... Brr, should have alternate car. Should have car that I can take out when this one gets damaged. 'Cause that's what I do in shit like Mech Warrior, where I'll have like my mainline mech that I prefer. So like you know, my Orion or something like that, but then I'll have a backup to it. So for instance, I have my Orion, which is my mainline assault that I like, but if it's damaged, I'll swap it out for my Cyclops, which is close enough. It's not quite as good, but it's like close enough, like it'll get the job done. Fill her up. I kind of feel like I need two cars again, like a spare one that I can be like, cool, take it out. And that's what I'll probably get to eventually. I'll probably have like a bunch of spare parts that I can cycle in and out. But at the moment, like I ran the insulated gear at one point, but it just wasn't good enough. Just had shit durability. Electrician's kit. Cool, that's fixed. Carbureted engine. I wanted some more schmooze. Oh, Mr. Dumpster, will you give me some chemicals? That's... oh, you just give me a repair putty straight up. Thank you. Chad Dumpster. Keep repairing my engine, please. What do I need for... do I need a door for you, I think. Craft another steel door. Yeah, that's fucked. More schmooze for the engine. I need a patch kit. Cool. So here's some things I'm going to change. So, electrician's kit. Yes, have one of those. Flare gun. Sure, actually, I probably could have made more use of that. Consolidate the... okay, no, maybe I can't consolidate those. Move those up there. Vacuum. Blowtorch. Ah, I should use the blowtorch because it can do repairs. What I'm gonna need, well, I'm gonna do more sealing kits. I'm gonna put a bunch of sealing kits in my vehicle. More schmooze. Yeah, I thought I had a spare tire in here. Maybe I lost it, but yeah, I really don't see any value in having a spare tire in the car at the moment. I feel like I'm better off having a bunch of patch kits. Steel sheet. Put it in the shredder. Okay, it doesn't give me anything. Whoops. What's that? Canned food. Plastique. Steel sheet. Let me just turn on the Omni shop vac. A bunch of stuff I picked up. Great. I had some paint in here that I was going to clean out. Oh no, I already just had it in my inventory. Cool. Red paint. Let's go. That one needs to be off-white. I think if I got off-white in my inventory, I have brown. Paint stripper. Off-white. I do have off-white. Insulated. Oh, I still had the insulated bumper on. Ah. Oh, I had 2 insulated bumpers. Who knew? Bumper. Steel bumper. Alright, we'll get this sorted, then we'll get rolling. Hopefully. Okay. 1, 2, 3. So, sealing kits. What was that thing? The sticker. Eat my dust. More wood paneling. We have we have the bee. Welded steering wheel. Yes, we got our dank wizard. We get our fucking Godzilla. Oh no, having the bee. But do we have the bee? Is the bee installed? I don't know what's going on. Hang on. Let me put this in the throttle shifter. What do we got now? The shifter. Oh. Okay. Never press the button. So this thing looks kind of cool. Why is it not letting me install it? I swear. Yeah. Ah. Grows a chia pet on my massive can. I grew a chia pet once, many years ago. There we go. Okay, it's terrible interface. Yeah, I did grow a chia pet once, many years ago. They're kind of overrated, particularly when you're a small child. The bee! But yeah, chia pets are overrated. And you wanna know why chia pets are overrated? Because of the fact that, like, they live for like a day. Oh, that thing's so cool. I mean, I don't even use it because I have the auto parker and it parks for me, but certainly it's aesthetic. Yeah, chia pets live for like a day. So when you're a kid, you're like, yay! Like, because you put a bunch of grass on it and it grows. And then you're like, well, you have to wait for it to grow, and then it grows, and you go, ah, like, I have this for like a day, and then it's all dead. And then you just have like a chia pet sitting around doing nothing for like years. We got, I think it was a hedgehog or like an echidna or something. And the idea was like when the stuff grew out, it looked like you had like, you know, spikes on, well, not spikes, but grass that kind of looked like spikes. No, I'm saying. Ah, repair putty, I need that shit. Scrap, I need that shit too. That in there. Okay, jumper kits, that's what I need. Battery jumper. I need like a bunch of them. Okay, let's give this maybe another crack. Wheels are in okay condition. They will serve. Throw the lever. So that was where we died. We died at G3. Yeah, that one another crack. What? I had the outfitting station now, or whatever. Where actually is it? I can't remember. Is it in the other room? Yeah, I think it is. The sewing machine, grounded sweater. Electrical resist 30%. That's very tempting. Did I get myself? Medium backpack. Powered boots. Well, to be fair, plants that grow bigger than you expect them to grow often grow bigger in certain circumstances. So having them in an office plant, they probably won't grow to 5 feet tall. It's like, what plant is it? I have some in my garden, and my aunt at one point, she was like, oh yeah, because my aunt lives up in like Queensland. She was like, oh yeah, those things up in Queensland grow into like fucking trees, but down here they grow into like, they're just a shrub. They're small, but it's like if you have them in warmer temperatures, they get bigger. Fuck it. I'm going with grounded sweater. Now let's actually just clean up my inventory real quick, because I have a bunch of paint that I don't need that I can go in put in the paint rack. And that way I'll have free inventory space for other things. Okay, those is mostly food. I'll throw my spare food in these. Food is useful to have because it's health. That's empty. That's all useful equipment. Road flares. Ah, that would actually be very good to have. Because road flares did prove to be extremely useful. I'll just keep them in there. All right. Hang on.
I don't know what this is, but Jay says it's a
Jesus.
fucking big sea turtle.
That's mostly correct, Avatar. And that's the best kind of correct. Mostly correct. I love those redeems. I'm so glad I made those a permanent feature. I originally put them in for when we were doing Dredge. Because I thought it was funny. For a fishing game, having two Brooklyn guys going nuts about, you know, big fish. And also because it's an absolutely just kino piece of audio. Like, it's such a vibe, these guys, well, not complaining, but like raving about a sunfish because they don't know what it is. Holy shit, bro. We are witnessing some shit we ain't never seen before. It's a baby wheel. Baby fucking wheel. Let's go get that audio tape down there. Oh yeah, speaking of fishing games, so I know I haven't played Dave the Diver in a while, but I believe this month, May is being an absolute, like, just jam-packed month when it comes to video games, because I'm pretty sure the next Dave the Diver DLC comes out this month. It's the Godzilla one. And so I'm hoping we will get more. I haven't checked. I want to see if we're getting more Dredge DLC as well. Because the last Dredge DLC was okay. It wasn't very long, but it was intriguing because it implied that, like, yeah, there's the giant sea monster that's kind of haunting you, but it implied that it is to a certain degree in conflict with other sea monsters. Oh, fuck off, Electric Man. Fuck off, Electric Man. You won't have me. So it kind of implied that, yeah, that there are other sea monsters that this thing is in conflict with. Fuck off. No. No. Cease. Hang on. Okay, it's control. I want to... I want to see if this will help me deal with those guys. If I can handbrake and thus be like, no, fuck you, handbrake says no. Oh. I have a quirk with my headlights, I think. I think they do silly buggers when I rev my engine or something. I'm amazed that this car takes as much damage as it does off-road, because I've off-roaded in these sorts of cars and they really actually don't take that much damage from going through, like, bushes and shit. Okay, let's hop out and investigate. Spooky shit? Spooky shit. Play it.
Welcome back. This is Frequency File, Episode 2.
Frequency File, Episode 2.
In the last episode, I told you about the curious case of Dr. Ophelia Turner.
When it comes to this enigmatic individual, one of 3 versions is true. Myth, martyr, or monster. To be able to weigh her in turns as heretic, genius, or scapegoat, we must first set the stage. When I started down this path to discover who she was, what she did, and ultimately what happened to her, I didn't expect it to lead me to one of the strangest mysteries of the Pacific Northwest, the Olympic Exclusion Zone. But let me rewind a bit. In Northwest Washington State, there are 3,600 square miles of vibrant wilderness called the Olympic Peninsula. Bounded by water on 3 sides, it was a wonderland for outdoorsy types, with snow-capped mountains and salmon-bearing rivers and pristine rainforests. Up until 1955, it was the residence of 100,000 people, including Ophelia Turner.
When I turn my steering wheel, my lights dim.
And,
that's annoying.
Turns out, ground zero and sacrificial lamb for the promise of limb technology. In true fashion, the government never comes out and says that's what led to the creation of the Olympic Exclusion Zone. But the chain of events were in plain sight. Strange accidents, leading to the government's claim of eminent domain and subsequent seizure of the peninsula. The evacuation of 100,000 people and the attempt and abject failure at containing the rumors that spread like wildfire. Because it turns out, even with the government's resources at your disposal, keeping secrets is a tricky business. You can bet there was plenty of talk as a result. Lucky me, because I had plenty of questions.
Oh, it's the dumpster, I think. Well, it's something. Yeah. I know I wasn't talking a lot of that, but again, I've talked about this before. I find it awkward talking over games sometimes, because I'm like, I would like to let the nice peoples talk. But the other thing as well, so that was spot on for what podcasts sound like to me. Like, that's what like every podcast sounds like to me, I swear to God. One of the reasons why I'm not a huge podcast fan. Because I had this realization when I was traveling with my family once. I'd been down, it was Christmas time, I'd been down to visit my brother and my sister-in-law in Canberra, and then we were driving back for the family Christmas here. And my sister-in-law, I don't know if she still does, but at the time she was really into those, like, true crime podcasts, you know, in typical white woman fashion. And we were listening to this true crime podcast, and I'm not a huge fan. I was kind of like, eh. Like, it was alright, but the thing that struck me, though, is the fact that you have, like, a singular person narrating, and they're talking about this, like, crime that has occurred, and they're like, oh yeah, so, like, here's the crime, and they're like, and here's how I would have done things differently, and, like, you know, this is the mistake the police made here. You know, it's well known that in a missing persons case, the first 72 hours are crucial or whatever, and, like, their lifespan, like, the expected survivability of a kidnapped person, after this time period decreases by, like, you know, 95% or something. You know, all this sort of stuff. So they go through and, like, talk about it, and I know some people personally who've done similar stuff of, like, I have a friend I went to uni with who, post-uni, started researching a kind of famous local cold case. She started looking into that for more info of, like, would there be more stuff that comes to light about what actually happened with this particular infamous murder. What do I need for this? Electrician's kit, which I think I do have. So I get the amount of work that goes into it, but the thing that just kind of annoyed me is when we got to the end of this podcast and they're like, here's the credits for this podcast. The narrator was such and such a person, and here's our entire team of, like, 30 million, like, we had, like, 5 researchers and you know, like, 4 writers and a sound producer. Like, there was a whole bunch of people working on this thing. And that's a fucking explodey boy. And that's kind of what annoys me about podcasts, to a certain extent, and like YouTube and other stuff in general, and even streaming. Although not so much streaming. I think streaming it's a little bit more obvious. Because for a long time, particularly with, again, like YouTube and podcasts, there was very much this pretense of, like, oh yeah, anyone can do it. Like, a bunch of white guys with a podcast with a microphone can start a podcast, and you can become the #1 podcast talking about shit that you like to talk about if you just believe, you know, if you just have a bit of personality and have a go. Which, again, I have no objection to people trying something and wanting to do something. The issue again is the pretense of it's like, oh, you can do it all on your own. Because for a long time, like a lot of the big YouTubers I watched, like they had agencies and they had like production networks and stuff behind them, behind the scenes. But there was kind of like, it was almost like kayfabe in wrestling. There was kind of this like gentleman's agreement, or not even gentleman's agreement, just this kind of sense of like, oh yeah, there's shit going on behind the scenes, but we don't talk about that. And that is one thing I do like about streaming and particularly VTubing is a lot of that stuff has become, I guess, more normalized. Like, because a lot of VTubers are, well, not a lot, but like there are a lot of notable VTubers who are part of agencies and things like that. The idea of having an agency, having a manager, having at least some sort of back end, like even people just having editors to do video content. You know, there are a lot of VTubers who are very open now that they're like, oh yeah, my YouTube stuff, I pay someone to edit my YouTube content because I don't have time. Yeah, I think it's cool that a lot of that has become more normalized. Because I think for a long time the attitude was very much like a, you can just do it yourself. Everything you can just do it yourself. And I'm speaking as someone who very much does do it himself. And yeah, like I don't have the time to do all the things I would like to do. I would very much like to pay for an editor. I don't, because I don't think I actually have content worthy of editing yet. But perhaps one day. That's another thing. I probably talk about it on a Theory Thursday or something. I hate the phrase content. I know I use it, but I hate. Oh, the trash is aggressive. Yeah, I hate the term content creator, because I feel like it devalues what people actually do. Because there are so many great people out here who do different things, interesting things, and then we all just boil it down to, oh, it's content. What do you do? Oh, I make content. I make content for people to consume. And you just know the word content was dreamed up by some guy in a boardroom when you know, Amazon were having their yearly fiscals or whatever, and he was having to justify in that board meeting like what his part of the company actually sold. You know, what their actual monetary mechanism was. And so they were like, oh, it's content. Give me all that shit. Here I was thinking it would be a nice, easy trip to get over the wall. Clearly, as usual, Ando was wrong. Ah, fuck. Don't yeet my car. Don't yeet my car. Ah, cool. It's not happening near my car. Very good. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I want to try something. I don't have some scrap metal, damn it. Whoop. Whoop. I must be in the middle of a storm, that explains it. Yes, I am in like the middle of a storm. It'd be great if one of these pillars could take out some of these tourists. Ah, no, go away, electrical man. But I blew up those tourists, so that's good. Ah, that's not the road I wanted to go down, but it'll do. Actually, speaking of superhero quirks, because I know Avatar mentioned it, this is something I have talked about on stream before as well, but I have kind of a love-hate relationship with My Hero Academia. I think the author, whose name I don't know off the top of my head, I think is very good as an artist, but also as like someone within the industry, in the sense that he has some really cool ideas. There are some characters in Boku no Hero where I'm like, these are really cool ideas, but they're the characters he always sidelines, in my opinion. They're the characters he does the least with, and then he spends all his time working on like Bakugo and what's his face, the one with the burnt face, the one who has the fire and ice powers, Todoroki, that's it. And then there's the other dude who has the whole shadow powers thing. Like, they're probably the least cool characters in my opinion, because like they have very generic, oh, this is a cool superpower. I think there are more interesting ones, like, again, the Invisible Girl. I find her kind of interesting in the sense that she is just, yeah, full-time I'm invisible. I like Sero. I like the whole I have sticky tape as a power. I think that's kind of interesting, because it is one of those things of, like, you have to be creative in terms of how you implement it. Like, how do you make that useful? And thus you come up with creative scenarios of how you make it useful. It's one of the things I actually like about Rarika, or whatever her name is. How, like, yeah, she has gravity powers, but it's using gravity powers in an interesting way. Like in the obligatory tournament arc where she uses it to kind of just dump a bunch of rubble on Bakugo. I'm like, okay, that is actually a clever application. But that's the thing I hate about My Hero Academia, is that, again, the more cool heroes, in my opinion, the more creative ones, get sidelined in favor of the more conventional ones. And that's part of the things where I think the creator actually is very smart, in that he knows what, well, either he or his editor knows what makes a good and profitable shonen manga. Right? So it's either him or his editor is being like, hey man, like, this is what you need to do. Focus on these characters. Because that happens. Like, this is the thing. People often talk up the manga industry as being like, oh, manga creators have so much more freedom than, like, American comic book writers. Because American comic book writers get told what to write by, like, well, not told what to write, but their editors have a lot more control over the overall story, and, like, you know, the company of, like, Marvel or DC or whoever generally has a lot more direction over where they want the character to go, because they own the IP. And people always talk it up as like, oh, you know, manga creators have so much more freedom over their own properties or whatever, and that's not always true. Editors do get to have input on where the story goes. Now, how much they can push depends on the artist. Like, newer artists who have recently gotten signed tend to have less ability to push back in terms of what they do and don't want to do. Guys who are a bit more accomplished tend to have more authority to be able to say, like, hey, I don't want to do this, or I do want to do this, because they are, I guess you could say, like, accomplished within the field. But a great example is Akira Toriyama. He famously, I think it was Frieza, the Frieza saga. it was the second form of Freezer, I think, he originally didn't want. And it was originally the third form was going to be the second form or whatever. And his editor didn't like the final form. He was like, it doesn't look strong enough. Make like a version of him that's like bigger and more muscular, and that's why the second form is the way it is, and why it kind of like it skips through it real fast. No, actually, no. I think it was originally he was only going to have two forms. It was going to be his original form and his final form, and his editor was like, "Nah, his final form looks too wimpy. Make more of them." And so he did a version of him that was like bigger and stronger, and then he did the third version, which was like an alien, like gave it the xenomorph head and stuff, basically to tell his editor to fuck off. But the one that I think probably is most well known is Bleach. The first arc of Bleach got cut short because the editors were like, yeah, nah, like, what do you got coming down the pipe? And he was like, oh, well, then we're gonna go to Soul Society and, you know, meet all the Reapers and stuff. They're like, okay, hurry it up, go to Soul Society. Which is a shame, because again, that's the stuff that I wanted to see more of. I was far more interested in Ichigo running around in the real world than I was with Soul Society. So that's why I think, yeah, Boku no Hero, it's a very good manga and it's very successful for a reason. But I think it's because either, again, the author or the editor knows what makes a successful manga and is very much cherry picking the stuff that they're like, yeah, like, this is conventional shonen, you know, that will sell, as opposed to, again, some of the more interesting stuff. Right, we're not going to go there. Into high instability check conditions. Warrens, Swift Storm. What do we got down here? Touch and go. Battery sapping. Yeah. I think we're just going to rush through here as much as we can. Because it is battery sapping. As you travel through the zone. I don't even know what touch and go means. We're gonna try and go through here as fast as we can. And we'll get out, we'll charge our battery at the next zone. Oh. Okay. I might have to cancel this run as well. I don't know. No, I'm going to try and give it a go, but these headlights are kind of frustrating. Whoa. This is what conditions have been like for me lately. It's just been fucking raining. Which is, it's good and bad. I love rain. I love fucking sleeping. Like, I love a nice... just sleepy morning when it's raining and it's cold. Love that shit. My turtle brain is like, yes, give me that high. Oh, holy shit! This is sapping my battery real fast. Yeah, my turtle brain is like, give me them hibernation conditions. Unfortunately, it's not great in the morning when I need to go to work. It's also not great when I have project brain and I'm like, I would like to do things. I would like to undercoat things. I would like to paint things, and it's like, no, you cannot do this because we're deciding for it to rain and or be humid. So you must instead undercoat everything by hand. Burn. Okay. Dude. Okay, spiky puddle. Avoid the spiky puddle. It's all Arda's fault. Yeah, it is. So that's my other problem at the moment. I talked about this in the Discord. I have become the hobby Ouroboros. I have too many things that I want to do, and my brain tries to do them all simultaneously. Fuck you. Yeah, airborne. Alright, crew, let's keep on pushing through. Place a marker. That's right, my radio's not playing. No wonder it's been so boring with me just yapping with no sound for a while. Maybe Mike was right. Maybe I really am muted. No, I'm not. Give me that orb. What is electrocuting me right now? Something has electrocuted me and I do not know what it was. Go down here. Oops, spike puddle. Let's avoid that. What the... Oh, it's a... spiky boy. Alright, let's keep on going. We'll get out of here real quick. We've got all the orbs we need. Ah, Danchies, welcome in. How you doing? How is the bat? We are playing Pacific Drive. I got yeeted off a cliff and died earlier, so now we're trying to do it again. We're trying to get through the wall. And events are conspiring to try and take us down, but they ain't gonna stop us. Alright. Here we go. Next section. Mlem? I don't know about Mlem. I can't Mlem, so I cannot offer you a Mlem. Ah, I see a Mlem. Thank you for that bat transmitted Hendra virus, Dan Cheese. I need that. Oh, there's two orbs down there, and then there's me where I died. Stream conditions, apparently. While we're here, let's just... How do I wipe? Oh, it's because I turned the car off, that's why. I'm glad today was a good day. My day was less good. It wasn't bad, but there was just a lot of shit that went... not wrong. A lot of shit went wrong for other people. The end result being that Ando had to do a bunch of things. Which, isn't always bad, but it's kind of frustrating sometimes, particularly because I deployed a bunch of fixes to one of our systems, and then they emailed me like 15 minutes later being like, oh, by the way, we had this huge problem last night. Can you take a look at it? And I was like, oh man, if you told me this like 15 minutes ago, I could have sorted it then and there. Darkness. But yeah, it's just like that sometimes. It do be like that sometimes. I think we're just gonna go straight through here. I'm gonna go get one orb, and then I think we'll go straight through. Bonk. But yeah, so it wasn't a bad day. It was just had things to do. Had things to do that stopped me from doing other things, but that's okay. Can I craft a relightable flare? There we go. Here's something. What do we got in the backpack? Oh yeah, refresh my memory, Danchies. Was it you who mentioned another crab's treasure to me, or was it someone else? I can't recall. But yeah, we gave that a spin last night, and it was a lot of fun. I had a good time, and we'll be having more crab times in the future. Even though that game is like equal parts enjoyable and frustrating. Dude. Oh, is my door open? It is. What the? I've done no idea why that door didn't close. Ah, I see. Okay, well, and now we are going to operate under the assumption that it was you who in fact did put me onto that game, so in which case, thank you. You may have the credit for it. We'll go get an orb or something, I think. Actually, no. Fuck it. I've changed my mind. I'm gonna keep my ambitions at bay. Mainly because I can hear more of those UFO fuckers and I don't want to deal with them. So I don't want a repeat of last time where they picked me up and threw me into a wind shear and basically just yeeted me into the valley. So what is this game about? The best summary of Pacific Drive that I've encountered is it's Subnautica on land. To give a more comprehensive discussion of it, basically we're a delivery driver who was delivering something near what's called the Pacific Exclusion Zone. It's a fictitious location in... Go away, electrical boy. It's a fictitious location in, like, the Pacific Northwest of America, like up near Washington. And it's been excluded for, like, 40 years because of weird shit that was going on there, because of scientific experiments that were conducted out there with, like, metaphysical technology and stuff. And so we were delivering a package there. and we got sucked onto the other side of the wall. So we are stuck in the exclusion zone, and we had a car. Well, we have a car. So as you can see, we have this station wagon. It's like kind of like an extra dimensional entity. It's semi-sentient, and it became our friend slash parasite. And so we're trying to figure out how to get out of the zone, basically, if that makes sense. Hopefully I've explained that reasonably. I should build more of these things. I think chat would enjoy it if I used more of these flares. Like, this is the first stream I've actually used lights. Most of the time I just run into dark rooms. And it's probably just been chat sharing it, like, black screens, while Ando rambles, like, a third of the time. But a lot of it is, like, survival crafting, like, finding, you know, things to craft to repair your car and build other stuff. The other thing as well is that, there aren't really any enemies in the game. Like, there are some anomalies that will move around and will fuck with you. Like the little UFO dudes who pick you up and try and drop you other places. But it's not like Subnautica where you have things that are like leviathans that are actively like predators or anything. You know, there's no antagonist. So this is where we were trying to get to. We're trying to get to this, which is on the other side of the wall. We died here last time because, again, we got thrown into a valley and couldn't get out. So this has been our objective for a while, was to try and get onto the other side of the wall, but we had to do a bunch of scouting to try and get close enough. How are we for fuel? How are we for power? Okay, we're okay for both. And that is something that you actually do need to manage as well. You need to manage your fuel and your power. Oh, sweet. We got a petrol station. Whereas the Americans call it a gas station. Whereas the Australians would call it more commonly a servo. Go down the servo, get a few poise. Yeah, I figure I'll talk about this. I'll give you all a little bit of a sneak peek. This is something I'm planning on doing. It might not be for a little while, like a couple of months, but goal is I'm gonna be doing, well, I wanna do some collab streams with some other VTubers, some non-Australian VTubers. I kind of thought I wanted to do this after I did my collab with Metal Hattie. Also, I'm gonna shout him out. Shout out to Metal Hattie. He's doing a bunch of charity stuff this month. Go check out Metal Hattie. He's doing it for the Trevor Project, so that's a pretty cool cause. Metal Hattie. Metal Hattie, not Metral Hattie. Yeah, go check out Metal Hattie. I'm pretty sure that's Metal Hattie. Is that the correct link? No, that's not the right link. Oops. Is it not underscore? Yes, he's gotten me with this before. It's double underscore. He's gotten me with this one before. Let me do that again. Let me do that again. Yeah. Yes, that's true. I have frequently collabed with Sin and Elzeret. Yeah, go check out Metal Hattie. Metal Hattie's cool. But I've done some frequent collabs with Sin and Liz, and we're doing another one on Saturday. We're doing content warning. But I want to do some with some non-Australian VTubers because I want to teach non-Australian VTubers Australian English. I want to teach them how to speak proper English, like servo and arvo and can. So I'm gonna hopefully do that at some point. Because I think there are words that we Australians are blessed with, like macas. They need to understand the glory of macas. Well, you're not even English. Well, then what does that mean? Does that mean you're Welsh? No. Oh, what do we got? Have we got anything in here? Okay, no, it's just steel panel. Alright, we've gassed up. We've grabbed what we could. We'll go down here and then we'll go check out what the wall, the status of the wall is. Okay, you're not English at all. Well, that's fair. Spoilers, I'm not English at all either. Oh, wrong button. That's the button I wanted. I drive like my mum. My mum does that. She'll be like, where are my wipers? Headlights. Like, turns on everything but the wipers, and then finally gets the wipers. Correct, I am an Aussie. That's not a good one, but I am one. Actually, no, I don't need to fill up the little refill tank, because it's already got petrol in it, doesn't it? Decal. I might decant my backpack soon. Also, when I get around to it, I am going to be dragging Liz into a collab at some point. I'm still figuring a couple of things out, and also need to get around to just actually asking him and being like, Liz, do not resist, you are being collabed with. I also need to bother Liz for more reference materials so I can order more skebs. So I can be like, owl, give me your reference materials so that I may obtain art accurately depicting the owl.
There's the expansion wall. It
Yep.
separates the outer zone.
Thank you, Oppie.
Mid-zone, and more importantly, us from those two idiots. This will get you one step closer to the deep zone. It's far past its prime, so watch your step.
Danger, danger. Gimme, gimme. Oh, I'm getting irradiated. Okay, that'll do for now. Num 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 num, MRE. Num 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 num. Heal me. Wow, MREs really don't heal you for much. Num 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 num. But yeah, I'm thinking about asking Hattie and a couple of other folks I know who are not non-Australians if they wanna come and hang out and learn how to speak God's language, this shrine. Ah, I see. Yeah, okay, that's understandable. And like, it's a complicated part of the world. You know, there's a lot of like, there's a lot of overlap in like, particularly even in Europe in general. Like I know so many people who are from Europe where it's like, oh yeah, I'm Belgian, but like I'm the French sort of Belgian, not the Belgian sort of Belgian. You fuckers. Come back here with my car. You fuckers. Get off my car. Ah, fuck off, abductor. Get the fuck out. Yeah, I don't know how true that is with America. And America's a weird one as well. Oh, I got yeeted. So I'm trying to remember. I don't think America lets you have dual citizenship. You can have an American passport, but you can how do I put this? You can have an American passport but not be an American citizen or something like that. I can't remember what it is. Because one of my best friends is an American expat. Well, sort of. She's born in Australia, but the family's American, and so she has... I can't remember, does she have an American passport and an Australian passport? I can't remember what her passport is. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Ah! That probably did more damage to me than I wanted it to. Let's just avoid that. We'll go through here. Point. Right, up we go. Okay, this is just the wall. Very good, very good. But yeah, I'll be honest, I don't know that much about passports and visas and stuff. All I know is I have a passport. What? What the fuck is going on? Oh, that's what's going on. Is it like the map on the mini map was showing me pointing the other direction, so I was like, hang on, how am I pointing the other direction? Like, how could I have gone forward and then somehow been pointing backwards? Is that... oh. Okay. This whole area, I do not know what the fuck is going on. Okay, I think I need to go down here. Opposite direction. Sometimes I do wish this map was a little bit easier to navigate. Well, yeah, but let's be honest, right? So, language is a funny thing, and we all kind of speak languages our own way. In that, I remember when I was in high school, I was learning Japanese, yeah, and there were so many times where my teacher would be like, particularly when I was in like senior school, she'd be like, "Come on, Ando, like." Surely, like, you could figure out this phrase, or, like, you could come up with a phrase for this. And I'd be like, well, not really, because, you know, I'd say this to her, I'd say, like, of course I struggle to say this in Japanese, I struggle to say it in English. Like, I don't know how I would say that sentence, like, in English, sort of thing. That's why it was really hard, because, and I've talked about this before, it probably works really well for some people, but not for me. The way languages are taught in Australia, particularly in school, is that they try and relate it to, you know, your schooling. So a lot of the senior school curricula for it is talking about, like, what are you going to do after high school? And like, what are your ambitions and stuff like that? And I have, like... I'm not a particularly ambitious person, and I don't really plan things like that. Like, I don't really plan out my future. So when they're, you know, trying to ask you questions like,
Major interference in the audio signal. Trying to tight.
okay, I'm hanging tight. Yeah, exactly, Danchi. Like, my ambitions are kind of like figure it out as I go. So they'd ask you things like, daigaku ni ikimasu ka, like, or daigaku hoshi ka, like, you know, do you want to go to university? And I'd be like, daigaku hoshi, like, yeah, I want to go to university. And they'd be like, what do you, nani o benkyou hoshi ka, like, what do you want to study? And I'd be like, nandemo nai, like, I don't really know. Because again, I was not one of those kids who was like, yeah, this is my goal. I want to go to university and study, medicine and become a doctor or whatever. Like, I was not one of the, like, my brother is a bit different. My brother was like, since probably about age 12, was like, I want to go to university and become a lawyer. That's what he did. He went and studied law. But I kind of like, I went and studied university and studied science and history because they were things that I liked, and I was like, sure, I guess, like, I'm good at them, I may as well do them. But there was never any plan of like, I'm going to do this and the outcome is going to be I'm going to become a scientist and go and do science. It's not the person who I am. I don't do those things. Same with VTubing. I'm like, I'm a stream and I'm figure things out, and I'm gonna do what I do.
Hello, friend. Welcome.
Hello,
to our
Tobias.
side of the wall. Oh, what's this? Your connection to Wabi is jammed? Worry not. Our signal is crystal clear.
Sure.
Don't you think?
Right, ask me if I can. Yeah, the mid-zone's been marinating in all this radiation for so long. Things don't work the same as they do in the outer zone. But the good news is, we live here. We can help you, no sweat.
First things first, we've got to extend the signal from the garage. Otherwise, Oppie's equipment won't be much help. Hooking you into a mid-zone stabilizer should do the trick. Look around. You should be able to see one up a hill somewhere.
Well, this is interesting. Salamander Grotto. Okay. Give me that vac. Where's my hand vac? Is it? Because again, like, I don't know enough about education in the UK and stuff like that. Marsh eggs. Give me them eggs. Orb. Giant orb. Orb time. Give me them eggs. Because yeah, university here isn't free per se, but basically they give you you can get a loan from the government, and it's on very generous rates. So I haven't paid mine off yet, but I'm well on the way to paying it off, and it's not really a problem. So I do feel like I am lucky, considering that, like, it's not like America where they just try and, like, scalp you for all the money you have. But yeah, the point I was getting to is, again, it's like VTubing. I don't really have a goal with VTubing. My goal of VTubing was to do it. To experience it and to grow and to be kind of, I don't know, what's the word, emergent. And I know some people who, like, started it with a goal of, like, this is what I want to do, this is my brand, this is my niche, this is the thing I want to create, whereas I'm just like, I am Turtle, and I will do things. And it may be for better, or it may be for worse. Alright, can I put all my salamander coom marsh eggs? Yes, I can put all my salamander coom in here. Oh, I have so much salamander coom. So much. We are blessed with a bounty of salamander coom. How we for power, how we for gas. I might need to charge my battery soon. Storage box. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, it's almost 11, so I did talk about this earlier on stream. I may have to finish a little bit earlier tonight. Not that early, but I have to go to work early tomorrow. Well, I have to get up early to make sure I get to work early tomorrow, so. Yeah, that's fair. I don't know, I thought about medicine when I was in high school. I was like, do I want to become a doctor? The only problem with being a doctor for me is that it's a lot of work. I have a friend who's in med school at the moment, and like it's a lot of work. Yeah, games dev is another one I thought about back in high school, because I think well, when you're in high school, I think everyone thinks about being a games dev, because like, who doesn't like games? There's nothing wrong with cooking. I don't think I could be a cook on a professional level. Anomaly. What is this? Rotten egg. Belching barnacle. Oh. Fuck off, ducty man. Give me this corrupted, unstable orb. But yeah, so like I thought about games dev when I was in high school, but the Australian industry was not very good for it back then. Yeah, that's understandable. What the fuck are you? Bubblegum buddy. I'm assuming you grab things. Yeah, I understand that. Like, I wound up in engineering, not because I wanted to, but partially because of my dad. So my dad's an engineer, and he actually works at the company that I work at, and I wouldn't say he got me the job, but he basically was like, he knew people who needed people, and so he was like, hey, like, I talked to some people, and they were like, they need some stuff, do you reckon you'd be able to do it? And I was like, yeah, I guess. And it kind of went from there, where I did some of it, and they were like, hey, Ando, you're, not terrible at this, so, what the? Come back here. Did you steal something from me, you motherfucker? What do you pickpocket? What did you steal? Give me my bumper, you motherfucker. No. Cease. Exactly, flying orbs. I hate this place. I hate this place already. Can't have shit in Detroit. But yeah, so my job, I very much fell into. And again, like, it's one of those things where I stuck with it more out of happenstance than an actual desire for it to be my job. Like, I was actually thinking about quitting and going to do something else, and then COVID happened. And they were like, oh hey, you might lose your job, and then I didn't because of luck. And I was like, ah, well, probably not a great time to leave my job during COVID when, you know, I can actually have a stable income that a lot of people don't have, so we kind of just went from there. And on the upside, it does let me do this. Because without the money, I cannot afford to be the VTuber. Oh, fuck off. Oh, okay, no, it's just a Spitty Boy. That's okay. I thought it was a pickpocket. What do we got? Oh, dumpster pearl. Nice. Put you here, put you here. Dumpster pearl goes in the pocket. Don't spit at me. Close that. Give me some food. Just use the first aid kit because we have a bunch. Excellent. Fuel's good. Battery's getting a little bit low, but we have charge kits, so. Ah, thank you for the hugs, Danshies. Again, it's not an issue. Like, well, hugs are welcome, but it's not a thing that I need hugs about. I'm getting grappled by multiple dudes. Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm a fan of my job, but I feel like there are worse things out there in the world that I could be doing. So I don't necessarily object to it. You know, I like to try and be a bit of an optimist. Because when I was a teenager, I was sometimes a bit stupid and a bit proud, and I would, like, as they say, look a gift horse in the mouth, and, you know, turn down opportunities that perhaps, you know, were worth taking just because I was too proud for it. Like, I'm horribly out of practice, but back when I was a teenager, I was actually pretty good at doing voice stuff. And I actually did take voiceover courses, voice acting courses, basically. The problem was that when you talk to the professionals, most of the voice acting stuff in Australia is advertising. They were like 85 to 90% of what you'll be doing most of the time will be for a radio company being like, come down to Bob's Bargain Basement and get some bargains in your basement. And me in my early 20s was like, nah, that ain't for me. I ain't gonna do corpo shill stuff, selling, you know, files to people or whatever. Because again, like, you can make good money out of it. Like, the guy who does the voices for the McDonald's ads in Australia, apparently, like, they have like one guy who does it, and he basically like just does those. Like, he'll do a bunch of McDonald's ads for McDonald's, and then will be like, that's my paycheck for the year. But me, I was like, nah, I wanna voice act in cool things. I wanna be in like video games and stuff. I don't wanna do no you know, advertisements. And so I never did anything with it. And again, ain't no time like the present, so I could probably do it in the future. Yeah, that's true. Well, part of it was also, you have to remember that I am not old, but the time period I was doing this was like 15 years ago-ish. And things were a bit different then. It wasn't as common for people to voice act on the internet.
There, your receiver's hooked in now.
Thank you, Francis.
We're patched into all that sweet Arc device data. Nice work. Oppie won't be able to block us out anymore. But better get going. Here it comes.
Oh, thank you. Alright, fuck it, let's go. And where was I going with this? Oh yeah, and the other thing as well. So like, at least when I was looking into it at the time in Australia, I don't know if we were especially outdated or if it was just the industry in general. But like all the people I talked to who did it like professionally were like, oh yeah, you record a demo tape for like voiceover stuff, like do a bunch of like, they were like, find a bunch of advertisements that you like, record your own rendition of them, do a demo tape, go away, abductor, get off. But they were like, record a demo tape, and they meant that literally in that at this point in time the industry was still using like cassette tapes. It was like, record a tape of yourself talking and then submit that. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't actually have a tape recorder. I think we're gonna make it. I think we got time. Maybe not. Do we want to go for that? We want to go cool time for that cool shit. We running? We're running, Danshies. Don't you worry about that. I'm kind of annoyed. I wanted to explore this area more. I'm a little bit annoyed that by setting up the stabilizer, we've set off the storm. I think this is... Well, that's the thing about this game, is it is very scary from an audio perspective, but the actual stuff that's spooky isn't actually that much. There's like no jump scares in this game, which I've really liked. Because the thing I hate about, like, I hate jump scares, and I hate like a lot of the backrooms games and stuff do it a lot, where they just basically like yell into a microphone, like they yell into a microphone, peak it, it's horrible, it's like distorted, and then they'll just play that like incessantly at loud volume on loop, and it's like, oh, that's scary, and it's like, no, it's not scary, it doesn't scare you, it just startles you.
Poppy was hiding a magic teleporter?
It's the same reaction anyone has to, you know, loud noises.
Don't worry, I'll restore her connection once you do us a little favor. We suspect Oppie's hiding a copy of Arda's database in that auto shop of hers. Find it, we can get back to this remnant business.
All right, I've identified the electrical circuit for the garage's security system.
And there's an auto security lock in that circuit. So once I do this... bingo! That security lock's powered on now. We try to overload code from the observation towers. 4735.
What am I supposed to be doing? Unlock the bathroom. Find out what's in here. Newsflash, newsflash, newsflash. Strange new footage has emerged from show's legendary Bigfoot strolling through the state near Elma, Olympic Peninsula, captured by a hiker who wishes to remain anonymous. 8mm film is remarkably clear and unarguably depicts a humanoid figure of some size moving just within the tree line. Later we'll be speaking with local Bigfoot expert Beth Rosen. What was it? Oh, I just automatically type it in. Cool.
Driver, something you should know about that database? When Arda's funding began to dry up, they handed us our final paycheck with one hand and the same-day evacuation orders with the other. Oppie was a higher-up, though more entitled than an actual power by that time. She would have known about Arda's plan to close up shop and had enough time to download all the research data before losing access. That data could contain what we need to help you.
When steering wheel stays turning, headlights dims. Let's guess. Correct. Good guess. Fixes. Light replacement kit. Okay. What's too complicated for your poor bat's brain? The diagnostics. This is actually, I actually like this diagnostic system once I figured it out, because it's basically Boolean logic. It's what I do at work. So let me try. When car let's go brakes. Car jolts forward. So car is jolting forward when battery decreases, car jolts forward. No, it's not battery. I mean, and wipers stays on. No, something makes the car jolt forward, but it's not wipers. Radio stays on, maybe. Ah, it's radio. Okay, when radio is off. Radio toggles. No. When radio switches off, there we go. Cool. Car jolt sealing kit. Ah, thank you for the key identities. We have slain the car jolting forward problem. What do I need? I need a light replacement kit. Let's get a light replacement kit. Yes, let's fix that. Okay, what do we got? When on an incline. Nope. Moves uphill. Okay, I have no remaining guesses. Too bad. I have another quirk left to fix, but it can wait. For now, we'll fix everything else, and then we might have to call it. Or we might do a supply run. Alright, what do we got to fix? We got the hood, we got headlights, we got all sorts of stuff to fix. The schmooze. Again, I kind of want this game, but without the super normal dimensional stuff. Like, could we please get a game like this?
Hey, driver, you seen any trapdoors or secret passageways?
Thank you, Tobias.
Hobby's too practical for that. It's probably in a locked room or by a dusty computer.
I'll bet my poetry collection it's in there. Yeah, it's gotta be.
Why would she leave something that valuable, let alone classified, in an abandoned garage?
Yeah, the magic schmooze.
Precisely because it's an abandoned garage.
Patch kit. Yeah, where was I going with this? Yeah, I'd love a game that's like this, but without all the super normal stuff. Like, give me this crossed with American Truck Simulator, where it's like, I have to drive my truck around and do stuff, but also I have to maintain it and, like, actually physically maintain it. Like, you can mod your truck in American Truck Simulator, but it's just, you change things in a menu. It's not actually having to do the you know, crafting and stuff. Because I do like this element of it. I do like having to, like, replace tires and stuff. It's just, all the other stuff, it can get a little bit tiring. Oh, I have magic schmooze. Very good. The schmooze exploded. Yeah, I don't mind a sandbox. My problem with sandboxes, and I had this with Minecraft a lot, is that I find it tends, like, or at least for me, without direction I tend to get bored. Like, I build something and I go, okay, well, what next? Which is why, at least with this, the advantage I've had is that, you know, there are missions. The game is telling me what to do and where to go. Which is handy, because I'm like, cool, this actually, you know, gives me things to work towards. Oh yeah, that's a lot of shit. Oh hell yeah, so many pressurized containers.
Boy, oh boy, look at all these gizmos in here. Obvi wasn't operating no normal auto shop.
If you shut up, Tobias.
Oh, her personal vault? I bet there's some good stuff in there.
I'm uncomfortable intruding like this. Can you not?
Ah, man.
Hold the phone. There's a machine that prints bobbleheads.
What? Show me.
Danchies, I 100% agree. I would love a sandbox plane building game. Because that's one that makes me lose. I might play this on stream, so I've talked about it before. I really like the Ace Combat games. I've talked about playing 7 on stream. But I also kind of want to get my PlayStation 2 out, get a capture card and hook that up, and see if I can play Ace Combat 5 and Ace Combat 0 on stream, because I really like those ones as well. But the thing I really like about 5 is that it has some of my favorite planes that aren't in any of the other series. So I'm a huge fan of the A6 Intruder. I think it's just such a funky looking aircraft. And I'm mad that like there are no other games that I get to fly it in. Yes, 5 and 0. They're probably my 2 favorites. Nekohai, like, I don't know. It's a tough choice. 0 is really good. I think 5 probably has the best story. 7 was fun. I didn't mind 7. I just bonked myself. Well done, Endo. Yes, 7 was fine, but the story in 7 was a little bit lacking. And I found the whole focus on drones kind of boring. Like, I know it's relevant, but I'm kind of like, anytime they do drones with aircraft, I'm like, like, it's less interesting. Just give me dudes in planes fighting each other. Give me dudes in planes doing cool shit. Let me put some of these in storage. Hang on. But I really liked, particularly in Egan's mixed note. I was gonna say, particularly in 0, I really liked the karma system. I liked it how you could be knight, mercenary, or soldier based on like the choices you made, and that people would like there was different outcomes to that. Because for those of you who haven't played it, 0 has a branching story in that there are different squadrons you'll get to dogfight against. There are some you always fight against. I think the ones you always fight are Silba, Gelb, and Galm, I think. I think they're the ones you always fight. And then, of course, there's the dogfight against Pixie at the end. But depending on certain choices, you get to fight against a couple of different squadrons. I'm trying to remember which ones they are. I know one's Esparta. Oh, actually, no, I think you always fight a Sparta squadron. I think you always fight a Sparta as well. There's a couple of different ones you get to fight against. There's Wizard or Sorcerer Squadron. I know that's one of the split choices. Sphinx Squadron, and I can't remember what the other one is. Yeah, there's a couple of different branches where it's you fight against different squadrons because you go on different missions or whatever. Sorry, not Garm. Grun. Grun Squadron is the what do you say? The F-18s, the guy with the owl symbol. He's the first one you fight, I think. Yes, sorry, I was thinking Grun. DCS World? No, I haven't played DCS World. I know about DCS World. It's a bit too hyper realistic for me. You need kind of like, I think to get the most out of DCS World, you need like a throttle and everything, and I don't have one of those. I don't have a HOTAS. I don't have enough unstable energy. Just short. Oh well. Yes, no, thank you for reminding me, Nekohide. Gum is your unit. That's correct. My brain was like, it starts with a G, because I know Gelb Squadron is because they're all German for colors. So Gelb is Yellow Squadron, and they're the two Su-37s or whatever. Silver is Silver Squadron. That's the old dude in F4, and then I think F5 trainers. Then there's Rot Squadron at one point. So Red Squadron. I can't remember what they fly. I think they're F-16s. I can't remember. But yeah, I remember there's a bunch of different squadrons you get to face off against, and it branches depending on which missions you take and which ones you fight. But yeah, I always liked that, and I want more of that in games. Because that's the thing that kind of annoys me a little bit in stuff nowadays. Because like a lot of devs, they talk about branching storylines, and they go, "Oh, branching storylines are really hard to do," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's fair. I recognize that branching storylines are really hard to do, but you don't have to do a fully branching storyline. You can do it like they do it in Ace Combat, where it is just like different choices made in mission result in some slightly different dialogue bits, some slightly different cutscenes. You know, it adds depth to the game. It feels like you're having an impact, but the ultimate storyline doesn't actually change. You know. I also really like the way that Zero tells the story. 5 and 0 are kind of similar. So 5 is written from the perspective of... I can't remember the character's name, but he's a journalist. He's a journalist who's stationed at Sand Island. And he's kind of telling the story from the perspective of what he saw at Sand Island and the growth of the War Dog and ultimately Rosgri squadrons. 0 is written from the perspective of a journalist who's investigating the Belkan War afterwards, I think 5 or 10 years after. And it's him talking to people after the fact, so a lot of the cutscenes are... And he's particularly investigating Cypher, Garm 1, who is a mysterious mercenary pilot that's who you play as. And again, part of it is the idea is that he's talking to people in retrospect, and they're talking about, you know, their experience in the war, which I think is really cool. They did the same thing for Halo 3. You can still find these videos on YouTube, but if you look them up, so for Halo 3, they did a big advertising campaign, which was really cool, which they kind of framed it as after the events of Halo 3. It's the you know, the Museum of the Human Covenant War, and it's like they're talking about the Master Chief and like interviewing obviously actors and stuff, but they were actors dressed up as like USMC veterans or UNSC or whatever it is, the Halo equivalent veterans, talking about like, you know, yeah, I was with the Master Chief when we came back from, you know, the Halo ring or whatever, and you know, he was like, yep, this is where it happened, and you know, they film him out in there and be like, yep, this is where we happened, you know, had to wait. Chief was gonna be here by sunrise, spent all night in the woods hiding from Covenant grunts, and you know, stuff like that. Like, it's very immersive and very cool, and I like retrospective as a storytelling thing. Anyway, this has been an Ando rant about things he likes in storytelling. Can I go, what is this? Capture electrical energy from lightning strikes and send it down to your battery. That's handy. Plasma charger. Side bat hydro generator. Okay, let's... Give me that. Now, what other battery goodies can I have? Why are you locked? Why are you locked? Oh, do I need to research this other one first? Read. Have fuel tanks. Cool. Side battery, mini turbine. Because that gives me when it's windy, when it's heckin' windy. Gives me when it's raining. Lead acid battery. Kind of want that. I'm focusing on battery at the moment because that was what caused me the biggest grief recently. Jump jacks, auto parker, resource radar. Resource radar I want, but not yet. Side battery, mini turbine, hydro generator. I think solar panel is going to be a big one. Hydro generator. Junction restabilizer. Thermostat crystal. Advanced antenna. Lead acid battery. This is the work of a maniac. Higher tier crafting benches required. Okay. Give me that lead acid battery. I don't know why a lead acid battery is an upgrade. Most car batteries, particularly at this era, would be a lead acid battery. I need chemicals. I need lead platelets. Where do I get lead platelets from? Hydro generator. Let's put this on. Where does this go? Side storage.
I don't know what this is, but Jay says it's
Very
a
true,
fucking big
Danchies. I don't know
sea
what this
turtle.
is. Hey. Oh, it goes on side racks. Okay, it goes on side racks, so I need another side rack. I haven't used the floodlights, so I might take the floodlights off. Wheels, expansion racks, side rack, side rack, side rack. Yeah, sure. There we go. Put this up on the side rack. Excellent. That will give me rain power. What other racks have we got? Roof rack. Yeah, we roof racking it, boys. Yeah, no problems, Danchi. By all means, go and draw. Be productive. Let me know what you come up with. What else we got? We got roof racks. Again, I should do more drawing. I don't, but I should. Give me them roof racks. I don't know. Drawing is one of those things I actually like. So, and I've talked about this before. When I started out with VTubing, I did want to be one of those people who's like, yeah, I'll draw everything. I'll build all my assets and I'll draw my own model. And then I was like, no, Ando. You do not have, like, if you were younger and had more time on your hands, like if you weren't working full time, maybe. But as it stands, Ando, like, you don't have the time, and if you don't do this, like if you don't do this now, you won't ever do it. So I was like, okay, I will not draw my own stuff, because I know that if I try, I'll never actually get around to doing it. And the goal was to actually do the thing. So, but yeah, I'm sure you'll draw your own game, Danchies. Like, again, I have full faith that you can do it, but I made a particular choice for particular reasons, and I'm happy with it. Again, it's just limits of my own time. I don't have the time to practice drawing. I would like to, but again, I just don't have the time at the moment. Perhaps one day. Circuit board, carbon glass. Where do I get lead platelets from? Plasma scrapper. Yeah, and again, it is okay. It's one of those things where, like, I'm on board with it. I am at terms with the limits of existence. It's, well, again, it sucks. It is one of those things in the sense of, like, I do get a little bit frustrated of, like, I'd love to be able to do all the things, but at least I recognize that there are limits to what I can do, and I'm doing what I can, if that makes sense. Like, better to recognize the limitations and at least do something, rather than refuse the limitations and just do nothing. Headlight, reinforced headlight, insulated headlight, flare gun, roof flashlight, roof floodlights, auto tracking spotlight. What did I want? I wanted, yeah, the trunk in the trunk. There we go. Assuming this goes in the trunk. There we go. Yeah. More space. I love it. Oh, nice. We have bulked out our car. It's looking great. I'm feeling good. I might do one quick run just to go and find Oppie's hideaway. Apparently is the current mission. Okay. Here I was thinking the Here I was thinking those were going to be relevant. Oh, okay. They are in fact relevant. What's this? Arc dock. That for you? Yes, it is. For you. Thank you, Danchies. I try and be a good turtle. I try and be the best turtle I can be. Hard drive. Assuming you go into the computer.
Oh, you did it! Hey, you actually did it! Boy howdy, I cannot wait to dig through all this data. As promised, I'll fix Oppie's connection.
Do you read me? Come in. Do you read me?
I do now.
Clear, you old bat.
I see. The comms clear up suddenly, and I find you two patched into the garage frequency. It all makes sense now.
No idea what you're talking about. So, Oppie, what's the plan? You must have some grand scheme, don't you?
Let me get this straight. You hijacked my mission, tapped into my frequency, and now you want to be all buddy-buddy. Not on your life. You think you're hot stuff. Why don't you take the lead then? Get the driver through all by your damn selves.
Did she just hang up on us? Well, guess it's our time to shine. So, Francis, you got any ideas?
Well, we know the driver needs to get to the deep zone, but
The
it's too
driver.
dangerous to head there directly. We have to zero in on exactly where to go. The signal amplification trick won't work here. The ambient instability is too strong in the mid-zone.
Huh, how indeed. There was one other time where the mass hallucination and the remnants intersected. Drive, I've tagged a route for you. Whenever you're ready, give it a spin.
I see. Okay. So that explains why I wasn't able to use the route planner. Yeah, we may have to call it. I don't know if I have time to do another run. Yeah, all the way up there. Nah, man, nah. But at least we've got like all of this mapped out in here now. But these longer runs are going to be interesting. All right, I think we're going to call it. We're gonna save, and we're gonna go and find someone to raid Reno. But we'll be back on Thursday for Theory Thursday. I'm not sure what I'm doing yet. I have some ideas. Maybe. But we'll talk, we'll ramble. I might show off some of the things I did because I fixed some of the stuff that was needed fixing on that I talked about on last stream. But aside from that, yeah, and actually Saturday we'll be back playing on Sin's stream. We'll be playing whatchamacallit, who's the what's it? Content warning. So we're playing content warning. That'll be good. That's a nice change up. Actually, let's go raid Noodlebox because he raided us last time we were playing this. And the chicken is good. Is a good bean. So we'll go raid. Hang on. We'll go raid Noodle. Noodle. Playing Solar Ash. I have no idea what it is, but it looks okay. So anyway, my name is Takamando. Thank you for watching us play we. Thank you for watching us play Pacific Drive. Yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back Thursday. Okay. I keep forgetting that there's a countdown on rating. All right, I'm gonna send you over to see Noodle. Be good. Be well. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye.